YouTube, how y'all doing? I know it's been a very long time. The crazy thing is I recorded a video for you guys like 2 weeks ago and never put it up for some reason. Like, I don't know, I think I just got sidetracked, and I apologize extremely for that. But this video is happening, okay? So I'm going to do a story time video. I'm gonna tell my coming out story since it is highly requested in the LGBTQ community. My coming out story is not terrible. Like nothing major happened to me. There were like little comments here and there from family members, but I was never like disowned or anything drastic. Like, of course I was told it maybe sometimes, but I don't think anyone ever really meant it. So yeah, my story isn't bad, but you know, it's like, you know, a typical coming out story for anyone. And being that my grandmother raised me, grandparents are very, you know, old school, and they already have this mindset. And I feel like older people, the older generation, are really into the Bible more. I think the Bible's it's very controversial. Like, you know, it contradicts itself. But I am someone that grew up in the church. I want to say in middle school, going into high school, maybe like eighth grade, 7th, 8th grade, is when I had like that, like, wow, like females, like I like females. Like, I realized, like, I was looking at females, I was wondering, like, what would it be like to kiss shorty over there? Or, you know, what would happen if we laid up in the bed? And, you know, like, I had all these thoughts. I was like, and wow, in my head, like no way, like, this is not possible. 8th grade, we had a dance, and this girl had a crush on me. Back to the story though. It relates to the story because she had a crush on me for a while, and I didn't know. Like, I had no idea. I honestly, I didn't even notice her. Like, me looking at girls, she wasn't one of those girls. But when I did realize and figure out that she had a crush on me, you know, I was like, okay, like, you know, we could try to make something happen. Like, let me see what's good with shorty. So we went to the school dance together, and we like snuck off into like the bathroom or something, and she was texting me that whole time she was getting dressed before the party, like, you know, oh, I want to kiss your lips, and, you know, I can't wait to hold you on my arms. And you know, like, I was young and fast and just wanted to know what you know, what these feelings were that was inside of me. And so I kissed her, and we kissed again, and we were like making out basically at that point. And I realized, like, after she had went, I was like, you know, like, you go out the bathroom first, I don't want anybody to think anything. And I stayed in the bathroom, I stayed in the stall for a minute, and I'm just in my head thinking like wow, like, I'm not disgusted, I'm not like, you know, ill that, you know, it didn't do anything for me. Like, I was really like damn, like, I like this. Like, it actually turned me on kissing her and, like, you know, rubbing my hands up her back and her behind. So it was just, it was a different feeling. I really felt like damn, like, this is, yeah, this is me, this is who I am. I like girls. Like, I've never got this feeling from a boy. I've never like lusted after a male the way I'm lusting after, you know, this girl right here, or girls in general, because at that time I was already thinking about it. So that was my first girl experience. First girl, any type of girl action. So let's fast forward a little. High school, I want to say my sophomore year, because freshman year I was just bad, and yeah, everything was just behavior. Freshman year, I was wilding out. Sophomore year, I got into my first relationship with a female who actually is my ex. And let me just say that we dated for 4 years, which is basically all of high school and even into college. I want to say like 4 or 5 years we dated. And I fell like head over heels for her, like head over heels for her. And I don't know if it was because that's my first real relationship, or it was just like damn, like this is so new to me. This is so refreshing. I feel myself. Like I actually really felt myself. Like I loved who I was. I was dressing more like boyish. Well, I don't say boyish. I usually say like I just dress down. I'm more comfortable dressing like this because I can dress like a female with no hesitation. It's just I prefer dressing more boyish, more downish. You know what I mean? Like it's just comfortable for me. That's just who I am. So I I was just coming into myself. I was realizing, like this is me. Like I'm completely okay. And let me just say, my freshman year, I was still dressing girly. Sophomore year, I was still dressing girly. It's just when I got into that relationship, I started figuring myself out. Like I slowly transformed from a femme to a stud, and it wasn't because of her, because I'm pretty sure she liked me either way, because I would dress girly and she was, oh my gosh, and I would dress studdish and she was like, damn, like, you know what I mean? So it wasn't her. I wasn't changing myself for her or the relationship. It was strictly because I was coming into myself and I was realizing this is who I am. This is what I like. This is how I'm comfortable. A year went by, she's coming to my house more, she's staying at night, like she basically lived there. My mom at the time, I told her that my girlfriend was my best friend. So of course she didn't, think anything of it. In high school I had two main friends. One who's Chow Yen, who actually is like my best friend right now. Um, and we had this thing in school where we would wear like all these like bracelets. And it was like colorful bracelets. I had like a bunch of rainbow bracelets, or I had like the single ones but different colors. It was like basically it was a rainbow on my arm. And I would walk around with that, or I would have like rainbow earrings. It was always something with colors and rainbow. And I came home one day and my mom, she's like, Ty, like, do you like girls? I just like, do you like girls? You like, you got all these rainbows on, and you dressing a little boyish now. She was like, you could tell me, you could talk to me. And I hesitated in that moment because I want to say a few nights before, I'm a few nights before, me and my mom, we were like laying down talking, just talking. Me and my mom are actually very, very close to each other. I tell her everything unless I feel like her reaction is going to be a little off. So I usually ease into things if I feel that. And I felt like I needed to like slowly ease into this. But anything else we talk about, like, I am completely open and honest with her. She's open and honest with me. Like, she'll tell me exactly like it is. I'll tell her like it is. So we were laying down talking, blah, blah, blah. And I think girl on girl came up in our conversation. And she made a couple comments like, I don't know how girls do it. I can't go down on a girl knowing she got the same thing I got. I can't. Well, she was like, I can't. She was like, I just can't get myself to do. She was like, I don't know how girls could do another girl. And it was her comments like that. So in my head, I'm like damn, like, so I can't, if I was to just come out and like mom, like, Natasha isn't my best friend, that's my girlfriend. I felt like if I would have come out and say that, she'd have been like, I don't know how you do it. Like, I don't know what you see. Like, I just felt like a ton of questions would have came, and she would have paused and hesitated, and like, oh, like something. It just would have been awkward. I feel like it just would have been awkward, and I didn't want to change, like, our mother-daughter time and make it completely awkward. So, I took that. I just let it marinate in my head. I went back to my room. A couple days later, I was just like, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna let you have it. Like, I'm just gonna tell you, I am gay. Natasha is my girlfriend, and we've been dating for over a year now. And I told my mom that, and her response, she was just like, I knew it. She was like, I already knew it. I was just waiting for you to feel comfortable enough to tell me. And I was like, really? Like, really, mom? Like, really? She was like, really? She was like, do you think I'm that stupid? She was like, you guys are always together. You guys sleep together. And I'm like, but that's my best friend. Even if she wasn't my girlfriend and my best friend, I would still sleep in the same bed as her. And she was like, no. She was like, I've opened your door in the middle of the night and you guys are cuddled up together. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well then, yeah, that, you know, that'll definitely, give it away. So she was like, she was like, I don't love you any less, she was like, you are my baby. I love you regardless of what you like, regardless of how you dress, regardless of anything. I will always love you. Even if you're in the wrong, I will love you. And I felt like that was something I truly needed to hear. So that was coming out to my mom. And it wasn't hard to come out to my mom because my Nini is bisexual and my TT, my TT, my cousin, her sister is gay. Like, she's in a whole relationship with the female, and she has been for like 5 years now. Like, it seems like 5 years. So it wasn't hard to come out to my mom because, and I always say this, I feel like the majority of my family is gay. So whatever. On the flip side, though, it was harder to come out to my grandmother. And I know in my last video I talked about grief and my grandmother passing away in November, and rest in peace to her. I truly miss her a lot. But that's where the problems came in. The older people is where all the problems came in. Everyone started realizing how I was dressing and stuff, and there was a lot of comments like, oh, Ty is dressing boyish now. Do you see what Ty got on? You see Ty cut her hair? Oh, Ty got an edge up, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was just a lot of comments and remarks, and it got to the point where I was like, dude, like, why the fuck do any of you guys care? Why is my life that important to talk about? Like, this is me. This is who I am. I am telling my truth, and, they're not okay with it. And, that's between them. Like, them not being okay has nothing to do with me. It is not my job to make you feel okay with what I'm doing in my life. So, I truly did. I didn't care about the outside stuff, but my immediate family, I cared 100% about what they said. So, my grandmother, I remember I was on the TV, and I think they had just they had just like made it where, gays could get married everywhere. And I was watching the TV with me and my sister and my grandmother. We were watching the TV, and my grandmother was like, she made a comment like, oh, that's just sad. That's an abomination. Going to hell. You're not supposed to, the Bible says man and woman, you're not supposed to lie in the same bed. Like, she was going in. And in my head, I'm like, I, started, going back and forth with her. Like, how is that an abomination? How are they going to hell for liking who they like when you got people that eat pork and, kill and molest children and do all this hateful stuff that's in the Bible that you're not supposed to do? But I don't hear you saying, oh, that's an abomination. They're going to hell. The Bible says this, this, this. You guys don't recite the Bible about stuff, about the other sins. But this sin, this main sin, like being gay, seems to be the one sin that people for some reason just can't, there's no, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no way around it. But all the other sins are completely okay to do and commit. And you're just, you could just ask for forgiveness and go to heaven. Like, this is what I mean with church people and the older generation. Like, I just don't get it. You guys can sit here and recite the Bible to me all you want, and I'm going to recite it back. Like, you do this, 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 and that. But, you don't hear me walking around like, you're going to hell. You're an abomination. You did that. So you're going to hell because the Bible says that. Like, you don't hear me saying that to you. So I don't feel like I don't feel like people should say that to me or to anyone in the LGBT community. Like, I just feel like it's stupid. It's so stupid to me. Like, I don't get it. I think it's dumb. Like, I people are just so ignorant, and I don't. It's just ignorant and closed minded, and I have no time and energy to waste on people like that. That was me coming out to her. She's like, oh, so you're gay, so you like girls? Is that why you're dressing boyish? And I'm like, like, yeah, like I do like girls, like, and the Puerto Rican girl that you've seen me bring around, that's my girlfriend, and my sister already knew. You know what I mean? So that wasn't me coming out to my sister. That was literally me coming out to my grandmother. And she, said this, and she was like, oh, well, that's an abomination, and you better go ask God for forgiveness, and blah, blah, blah. So my coming out to my grandmother was really, it was basically a debate. It was a debate back and forth with the Bible and sins, and it was just crazy. And at the end of the day, she tried her hardest to just not say anything about it. And I think I got to the point where it was like, let me just not spark up an argument. And I decided anytime I was around her, I would dress girly. And although it made me a little uncomfortable, I hate dressing girly because I don't like tight stuff. So even though it made me a little uncomfortable, I made that sacrifice for the sake of my grandmother, because I understand that she grew up differently. You know what I mean? Like, her generation growing up was way stricter and way more different than my generation or this generation now. Like, it's just a complete different. So, you know, I know it wasn't being myself, but I was willing to make that sacrifice for a family member. Like, if it was just some friend or something, then no, I'm not going to dress girly around you because you can't find it in you to understand. But for somebody that was taught something for so long, I mean, like over 50 years, then, I feel like, okay, like maybe I can, just give them the benefit of the doubt. And I gave my grandmother and my nana and my great aunts, all of them, I just gave them the benefit of the doubt, and I would just dress girly around them, like no questions asked. My sister didn't really care. She was just like, okay, like, whatever, okay. And then she was like, oh, are you dating such and such? And I was like, yeah, that's my girlfriend. And she was like, oh, okay. And I love my sister so much. Like, my little sister is my world. And I just loved her reaction. And it was even cute when I was like, you like me dressing girly more or boyish? And she actually said, I like you, dressing down, like dressing boyish. And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, I love you for that response. I really, really love you for that response. So, like I said, my coming out story wasn't bad or something major happened. Like I said, it was a couple comments here and there. The biggest obstacle is my grandmother and like the older generation. But as like with everyone else, it was just like, okay, like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, you like what you like. My aunt, my cousins, they all said that. My birth mother, she at first she was like why do you like girls? Why, like, are you sure that's what you like? Like, she questioned a lot of it, and I was like yeah, like I'm positive. And my birth mom, she would say some stuff like oh, I wish you would dress girly today, or why your pants gotta sag? You know what I mean? Like, she would just make comments, and I'm like, this is who I am. Like, you can either accept it or you can continue to make your little slick comment. I don't People whose house isn't in order, whose shit isn't together, I feel like shouldn't comment on anyone else's life. Get your shit together before you start making insults and remarks about someone else. Like like you're just flawless. Like, no. I've had two boyfriends, and the first one was my longest relationship, and that was the relationship that I realized I didn't like boys. I was like, this is not for me. Like, I don't feel anything. I don't feel love. I don't feeling attraction. I don't feel the want to cuddle with him and kiss him, and like I don't want to do that. And I am so like dominant and aggressive. Like I know at the end of the day, boyish or not, I still have a vagina. I know that. I say this to boys and girls all the time. Like regardless of how I dress, you guys still know I have a vagina down there, right? Like I don't want a sex change. I love my vagina. Okay? Okay. So, yeah, I feel like people forget that sometimes, but I just don't see the whole stud and boy relationship. Don't get it. No, I'm not gonna say I don't get it, because that's wrong, because that's like somebody saying they don't get that I'm a stud. But I just don't, like I said, unless you like boys, I don't understand it. And you know, I'm willing to, you know, open my mind to understand it, but it's just not for me, you know. It's not for me. So I've had 2 relationships and 2 boy relationships. And like I was saying, the first one is when I realized I don't like boys. And my second one, I feel like I got into that relationship to try to, that's what I was like battling in my head. Like, do I want to come out, or do I, like, you know what I mean? Or should I like shove these feelings down? When I dated him to try to shove the feelings down, and it didn't work. And I've actually apologized to him for that, because I felt like, you know, I just strung him along knowing I didn't like him, knowing I didn't want him. So I do apologize for that, sir. But it helped me become comfortable with who I am now. At the end of the day, I am still very, very gay. And I encourage everyone to come out on their own time and come out when they want to. Come out how they want to, whether it's a conversation, whether it's a video, whether it's a letter. You know, do whatever you're comfortable with, do whatever you think, you know, whichever way you feel like you can handle the reaction in a positive way, do it that way. And just stay true to you, stay true to the people in your life, your family, your friends. Be true to them, let them know who you are, let them know, you know, how you're feeling. Like, just don't ever lessen yourself, don't ever, you know, just make yourself, just don't feel like you have to be someone else so the people in your life, you know, could be happy. Like, that's not being happy for you. That's not living for you. That's living for everyone else. Live for you. Stay true to you. Be who you are. Love who you are. Embrace who you are. You are a beautiful person. Everyone has a beautiful soul. Everyone is a beautiful person inside. It is, you know, how you portray yourself is how you act. Just come out when you want to. Come out when you're ready to. That's the word. Come out when you're ready to. And make the most of it. Make the most of your life. You know, live your life the way you want. You only got one life to live, so live it the way that you want to, regardless of what anyone says, regardless of any rules and, you know, guidelines and just laws or whatever you want to call it. Anything that people feel like you need to abide by your own rules. You know what I mean? Don't break the law, but definitely abide by your own rules. You know, you walk to the beat of your own drum. Nobody else's. That's it. I say that I think having dated boys in my past, I think that was a big help in figuring out that I like really liked girls. You know what I mean? I think the fact that I was able to experience a relationship with a boy to see, you know, if that was for me, helped a lot. I'm not saying every stud out there or lesbian out there should date a guy to make sure they are actually lesbian. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying for me, on my journey and my experience, dating those boys helped me realize and be completely comfortable being gay. Like, this is me. This is who I am. You know, that's it. This is me. I am a lesbian, and my name is THiNGS. How about now?